Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. Today is Tuesday. It is March 21st, 2023. My name's Jeremy, and this is my first cup. That's very warm. Who is out there? I want to say good morning to Brian, Rebecca, Ray, Dennis, and all the rest of you out there, whether you are watching live, later, or listening. Thank you for coming by. I appreciate you joining me this morning. I hope you are staying warm. I hope you slept well. I hope you had a wonderful start to the work week. And I hope you're looking forward to an even better day today. I know I am. Good morning, Mark. Dennis says, happy Tuesday, Whistlekick family. We're going to party all morning, and then we're going to party a little longer. Woo. I don't know about party. If you're having a party, I did not get the invite. I'm not a morning partier. Oh, one of the neighbor's dogs. Lots of dogs around here. Ray says, happy Tuesday, the second most day of the week. I love it. I love it. Well, how was your Monday? Did you check out Becky Bartlett's episode of Martial Arts Radio? If you did, you probably caught what I was talking about when I said this is an episode that takes a little bit of a left. And I like that. I like the left turn episodes. Or maybe you can call it a right turn. You could call it taking an exit off the highway, going through a tunnel, getting lost in a parking garage. Whatever analogy works for you, perfectly appropriate. To me, anything other than, hey, we just kind of plodded along and did our thing. And we have a lot of episodes like that. But this one, there was some abrupt change. Good morning, Tommy. Well, yesterday I had a number of client calls. All of those went well. I went to CrossFit last night. That went well. And just continue to chip away at the work in front of me. And I'm seeing, I don't want to say an end to the list because I know it never ends. But with the work that I do, just overall, if we add everything together, it goes in cycles where it's like, oh, look at all of that. And I'm in a point where it's getting to a lower point where I'm actually seeing the end of the to-do list, which is kind of nice. It's not common, but I enjoy seeing that. It makes me feel productive. Good morning, Andy. Good morning, Liz. Dennis says, yesterday's episode, connecting the three dots. A fun listen. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, if everyone could help me out, hit like or heart or thumbs up or whatever you've got, depending on the platform you are watching on, I would appreciate it. Tea is very hot. Don't forget that does help with the show, help spread the show. Helps the algorithms share the show. Today, I do not have a lot of things going on, and I'm thankful for that. I'll get some work done. I got some projects I'm chipping away on. And Andrew's going to be here at 10, and we're going to record a few episodes. Now, we may go live with one of those, maybe more. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. He is the keeper of the plan. I just kind of show up and look pretty. That's really about it. And then we chat, we do our thing, and we will be in here chatting in the, I'm going to call it done renovations of the living room. I made a lot of changes in here in the last, I don't know, 6 months. Maybe it's even longer. But I like this room a lot more now. This is the only work I do in this room now. That was a big change too. No more working from the couch. Good morning, Kelly. Is there more? I feel like there was more. I was going to tell you. I'm trying to remember what it was. I guess you guys are all going to have to help me out. How was your Monday? What did you do? Did you have any wins? Any successes? Any check marks? Anything that didn't go well that you wanted to kind of reach out for some support on? Any of that and more is perfectly fair game. Just drop it in the chat. Talk about it. I got to water the plants today. That's been a week and a half. I've stopped watering the plants every week. I let it go a little longer now because I'm finding that stressing them just a little bit seems to make them healthier, which makes sense, right? A little bit of stress, like exercise for us, or fasting, or learning something difficult. That's all stress, isn't it? Makes us better. Why would it not be the same for plants? But there's obviously a line. There's too much stress. Chronic stress. You can chronically stress a plant. Not a good idea. They don't like that. Probably going to take a nap today. I've been taking a lot of little naps because this little thing has been telling me how poor of a job I'm sleeping. Last night, I loaded up the information on my phone this morning. It basically laughed at me. I was like, what did you do? According to this, it took me an hour and a half to get into any kind of good sleep. So we'll work on that. Take some naps, try to catch up. In fact, I may take a nap right after this show. Actually, that's a likely occurrence. I don't really know what else to say. I'm not watching anything particularly interesting on TV. I haven't been to the movies in a while. Oh, I finished up all the template stuff for Flex for the email series that many of you are doing. This has been a successful program. I'm very thankful for it. Quite a few of you are doing this. And I've got the template done for the next one, which again, I think I mentioned this yesterday. If you are in the Martial Arts Radio Behind the Scenes group, you know what that program is. At least you have a very strong suspicion. I haven't confirmed it, but the voting was pretty clear. Good morning, Jenny. Tommy says, I live for a nap and the dogs love it too. Yeah. Naps are pretty solid. Many, many years ago, probably 20 years ago, I read about a study done trying to figure out what the average human being would sleep without the drive of society. And it was about 12 hours. They kept people in a room without windows, and they gave them all the things that they wanted. Now, we could make the argument that there was, less stimulation than one might have in normal society, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's 12 hours. If we look at every other mammal, herbivores are awake a lot more because they have to eat a lot more to stay alive. We are not herbivores. Even if all you eat is plants, you have not evolved to be an herbivore. So we don't need to spend as much time generally. So if you look at omnivores, right? How much sleeping are they doing? Quite a bit. So when people say, oh, I'm good with 5, well, you think you are. I've known very few people, if any, who sleep 5 hours a day, and I would call them healthy. That's not to say that sleep is necessarily easy, but I've recommended this book before. I will recommend it again, Sleep Smarter by Sean Stevenson. If you sleep poorly and you would like to sleep better because, I don't know, you'd like to live longer, because yes, there's a direct correlation with all-cause mortality, you might want to pick up that book and check it out. Good morning to you, Stacy. Tommy says, where do I sign up for that study? Well, first you got to find a time machine. And then I don't know where you go. Good morning, Andrew. Look at everybody here. This is the biggest show we've had, the biggest audience we've had in quite a while. And I'm thankful to see all of you. Yeah, I appreciate you. All right. Now, I'm sure, actually, I know for a fact, Frank sent over stuff for the rest of the week last night. Because I know he's got a busy work schedule. And let me find what he sent me. Oh, here's something I will say. We are working on a book, a collection of interviews. And I don't know where the idea came from. It might have been me, where we invited the people who are in the book to provide their thoughts on the other people in the book. One of them has passed away. If you really know your Whistlekick history, you may start putting pieces together here. But it was a lofty goal, and it's happening. It's all happening. All the people we've reached out, oh yeah, sure. Here you go. Here are my thoughts. This person's great. This person's great. This person's great. And obviously they're being more detailed. But there is no book like this that I'm aware of. And I think that that's awesome. Rebecca says, I don't like putting these long comments up because they cover the screen, but I will read it. I've been eating a new diet trying to lose weight. After my second week, I gained a pound, and it really disappointed me as I worked really hard. Later on, I had Kung Fu and Kempo and almost didn't go to my classes. However, I pushed through my emotions and ended up really enjoying both classes. I finally was able to do my 13 hammers form beginning to end and was doing much better during my warm-ups. Made me feel better, and today I'll start new and do better. So here's the thing about weight loss. And let's temper this with the fact that science does not fully understand human metabolism. We don't. The idea that it's just calories in, calories out, it does not make sense. It does not add up. There is far too much evidence to provide a counterexample. Okay? What that means is that certain actions, certain diets, will prompt certain responses from the body that may not always make sense. If, for example, if you cut too many calories at once, you can gain weight because your body suppresses your metabolism because, oh, shoot, food's getting scarce. I better hold on to as much as I can. Right? And don't forget that for most of us, a pound is, I don't know, less than 1%. And there's always going to be variations. I suggest people not use the scale as the method to determine what's going on. I still use it, but it's not a healthy thing to do. How do you feel? I suggest a journal. How do you feel when you wake up? How do you feel at the end of the day? How do you feel when you work out? Maybe you give that a score. Those are the things that are going to create more sustainable habits and give you a better insight into what's going on. Kelly's asking, a time machine, where would everyone go? That's a fascinating question. Dennis says, I slept 5 hours a day for years and years while working full-time and running the dojo. Now I get no less than 8 to 9. How did I do it? Oh yeah, I used to be young. Well, one of the things that we don't talk about so much right now, because it's still newer science, is some of the markers in our body that degrade with age. For example, telomere length. You don't have to know what that is. Other than there are things you can do to slow or theoretically reverse telomere shortening. And guess what? One of the things is that shortens telomeres quickly. Not sleeping. Guess what happens when your telomeres get really short? You die. Oh, Jenny says, it was me. It was you. And I took it and ran with it. Teamwork, the book thing. Yeah. Well, cool. I'm glad it's working out. I'm very excited. Jenny says, I wish I hadn't treated myself that way when I was younger. I might be younger and healthier now. Exactly. But we did what we had to do. I was raising 3 boys while working night shift. I slept 2 hours a day if Tandem took a nap. Well, and there's nothing that says you can't make up for lost time. Is it exactly the same? No. But I never would have taken this many naps when I was in my 20s. And what does it mean? It means that when I show up to do things, it's better. The gym is better. This show is better. Everything I do is better because I'm taking better care of myself. People are talking about weight loss in the chat. I'm going to let the crosstalk happen. It doesn't always have to go up on the screen. I appreciate you all supporting each other. And just a reminder, if you watch or listen to the show later, don't forget, you can join us live, 6:30 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time, and be part of the chat. Now, where is the stuff from Frank? Today is Tuesday, so we're going to fire this up. I'm going to share this. Thank you, as always, to Frank for all that you do for the show. Thank you to Josh for our theme song, and thank you to Denise for our audio. Denise competed in a tournament this weekend and did very well. 3 quotes today from Dolly Parton. Even if you're not a big fan of her music, you can't deny the mark she's left on the world. I never, ever get involved in politics. With politics, you are not allowed to be honest. I don't have time to deal with that. I would rather work with kids. I'm just going to let that one sit. I'll let you draw your own conclusions. There you go. Next, when someone shows you their true colors, believe them. This is a skill that I've gotten so much better at as an adult and as I've aged. I used to take people at their word. And if someone did something that I thought was inappropriate or against me, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. And I gave them more chances. And I tried to help them. And now, nope. Doesn't mean I won't help them, but they probably have to ask. Doesn't mean I won't give them the benefit of the doubt, but they probably have to apologize. There was somebody that was at the gym yesterday, somebody that, it wasn't a big deal, but somebody that had treated me poorly several years ago. And it was actually our first time meeting in person. Just tons of mutual friends. And once I figured out who this person was, I was like, oh. And they actually came over and talked to me and asked me some questions. And I was short with them. Not probably verging on rude, not because I was intentionally being rude, but because I wasn't going to spend the time engaging with them. They don't matter to me. I don't have to be friends with everyone anymore. I don't need to be liked by people that I don't respect. And I don't respect this person. Because when you treat people the way that this person treated me, it's disrespectful. And I don't hold respect for people who are intentionally disrespectful. Now, could this person, I thought about this a lot as I drove home. I spend a lot of time unpacking this stuff. Could this person, is there a way they could apologize? Is there a way they could hit reset? We could come back to zero. There is. But it involves absolutely no effort on my part. They have to do all the effort. Do I expect that to happen? No. Because people rarely change. I saw who this person was. They are a disrespectful, I guess, selfish might not be fair, but at least disrespectful person. And they don't deserve space in my life. And I bet we all have those people. And we have some people that we have to feel like we have to keep in our lives. I've never agreed with that. Doesn't mean I have to go out of my way to say, you're not in my life. But there are plenty of people that I used to consider the best of friends, people that I called family. I am indifferent to them. I won't go out of my way to be rude, but I won't go out of my way to be nice. I just won't go out of my way. If I see them on the street, hey, how are you? And I'll probably keep walking. There are certain people that I have a social context with that I have to say a little bit more. Otherwise, it would come across rude. And I don't want to be rude. But I've only got so much time. I'm not going to spend it on people that I don't respect, I don't like, that don't value me. Meh. Tommy says, disrespectful people don't have much room in my life either, for sure. Good morning, Anthony. Jenny says, heck, I engage with certain family members less because it keeps us from arguing, which means we have a better relationship now. Yep. You know, and some of the people I'm talking about are people in the martial arts world. You know, it's sad to say, but there's a whole contingent that watched me come up, that watched Whistle Kick come up, that early on pretended to be supportive because at the time I needed them and they were fine with being needed. Sometimes money changed hands. They were fine with all of that. But then when I outgrew them, a large number of them not only stopped engaging, not only retracted their supposed friendship and support, but some actually took action to sabotage because they couldn't handle the idea of me outgrowing them. Ugh. These are people I don't need. Remember the episode that Andrew and I did about your students should surpass you? And if you're not willing to push for that, you're actually dooming the art that you teach to get worse with each generation. Yeah, it's kind of like that. All right, what's our last one? Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. How many of us are guilty of that? Still one of the biggest things I struggle with. I'm better. I've had periods of time where balance has been decent. I think balance is getting better. And it came down to a very simple, recent realization. I thought I was an introvert. I was never fully satisfied with being an introvert, but I thought I was an introvert. And then I realized, nope, I've just often been surrounded by people that I don't like. That changes everything. I love being around people that I like. Not 24/7. I'm not a complete extrovert, but I am not an extroverted introvert as I thought. I'm an extrovert. But I don't have a lot of experience being an extrovert, so sometimes I'm kind of awkward. But I make the best of it. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Right? What else? I think that's it. I appreciate you all being here. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope it got you to think. As always, that's all I'm asking for. I want you to think. It's never about you agreeing with me. In fact, I love when people disagree with me. Actually, I posted something yesterday in the martial arts debates group that many of you were part of. I can't get a good debate going in there to save my life. I try to come up with these bold, not quite divisive, but controversial subjects that I don't think are going to lead in terrible directions, like politics. And I get 3/4 of the people agreeing with me in very simple language. And then you get one person who seems to forget that it's a debate group and they assume that this is what I believe. And they post a response in a way that it's difficult to get a debate going. And I watch them. I go, ugh, come on. So makes me sad. But see you soon, Andrew. Yes. Jenny says, I love Dolly Parton. Great role model. I request more Dolly quotes in the future, Frank Wood. I wouldn't be surprised if he does that. Tommy says, good conversation. Yeah, definitely a good conversation. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. That's a good point. Andrew says, people don't debate in the group because like attracts like. And Tommy says, I can take the opposite side just to be an idiot. I don't think you have to do it to be an idiot. I will take the opposite side of a debate because it helps me understand. One of the things I was taught my freshman year of high school, and this is something I don't like to brag about myself, but in high school, I won our school's first ever debate trophy. It was the first time ever. And admittedly, it was my first debate. Where did I come in? Second? Third? I don't know. I think the debate's in the trophy case. Or maybe it's at my mother's house. I don't know. Anyway, I was a skilled debater. And one of the things we had to do, because you didn't know which side of the debate you were going to be on, were you going to be the affirmative or the negative? Were you agreeing with the assertion? Or were you opposing it? I got really good at that. And it's a skill that I wish more people had. Because it's become instinct. If there's a controversial subject, I have an instinct on which side I believe. I'm going to spend time on the other side. I want to understand. I wish we did more of that. We do that in martial arts. Right? Okay, now you're the attacker. Now you're going to use this terrible set of techniques. Now you're going to defend in this way. Right? We don't always do it consciously, but it kind of threads through our training. And I think there's a lot of value there. Tommy says, I like to study all sides. Had to in college, taking political science courses. Yep. So if any of you want to join that debate group, martial arts debates, find it, hit join. I'll probably let you in. I believe that healthy discussion, aka debate, not argument, not what most people have turned discussion into, is one of the best ways to learn about a subject. If you take two people who are very knowledgeable but disagree, and they have a respectful conversation, it is one of the best ways to learn that I am aware of. It's why so many people enjoy long form podcasts. Now, granted, martial arts radio, we do it a little bit differently. It's more about the person than about the subject. Andrew and I have a conversation about subjects. But if you check out any one of many longer form podcasts, they tend to end up in some lengthy discussions about things. And I still think there's nothing better. And love him or hate him, it's one of my favorite things about Joe Rogan's show is that he will have people on that he disagrees with. Very few people will do that. And they will have intelligent conversation. And sometimes he will acknowledge, you're shifting my perspective on this. That's a very healthy person. It's a very healthy way to be. And I would say that sadly, most people are not like that today. Hopefully, you are willing to be like that. Hopefully, with new information and new consideration, your beliefs can shift, whether we're talking about martial arts or something else. I appreciate you coming by. And I hope that you will consider supporting us. I updated the family page yesterday. We've got the code FirstCup15 to save 15%. There's some new things coming up on the website. And of course, we've got, what else do we have? Patreon. Slipkick.com/Patreon. Most of you are in there, but not all of you. I would love to see all of you in there. Even a couple bucks a month helps. And every little bit, you get more. You will get overwhelming value back. How do I know that? Because people do not drop their contributions or unsign. Generally, it's pretty much a steady graph up if we were to plot our monthly contributions. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for spending this time with me. And I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.